Hello, it's me again. So, and it's been about a week, almost a week. I give my thoughts on the latest Doctor Who special, The Waters of Mars. Now this might be a bit spoiler heavy, so if you haven't seen it yet, go watch some other video or something. Okay, now, where to start? Certainly much darker episode than Planet of the Dead, which, as good as it was really didn't really have much in it that stood out from a regular episode. I mean, aside from it having a considerably bigger budget and it being in HD, which was a big first. I mean, looked great, and Michelle Ryan was pretty good as Lady Christina. Okay, back to Waters of Mars. I mean, first I thought that thing about the Doctor realizing that he can control, he doesn't need to follow the laws of time and declare himself Time Lord victorious. That seemed like something that had been building up since the start of the new series, when at least since end of the world, when we actually found out that he was the last of the Time Lords. However, as we saw, pretty quick to realize that even if there's no one to enforce those laws, there are consequences for breaking them. Still, when we still saw a side of the Doctor which was different. But reminiscent of Fires of Pompeii, because, again, like both episodes dealt with a fixed point in history. Namely, in that eruption of Vesuvius, this time the destruction of Bowie Base 1. However, again, in both cases, he did save people who were originally meant to die, but the difference here is those in Fires of Pompeii, those people's lives weren't part of the fixed point. But this time, mainly Adelaide's. I mean, Yuri and Mia, it's potentially possible that that part of events wasn't fixed. They couldn't have survived. And the Doctor's actions have caused some serious changes through history. Namely, now Adelaide has died on Earth instead of Mars, and by basically shooting herself, presumably the head, but we never really see. We just know that she takes her own life. And now that Yuri and Mia survive, they tell the world what happened on Bowie Base 1 and why it was destroyed, why it had to be destroyed. So, which if they hadn't done that, Adelaide's suicide would have branded her as a deserter and not a hero. But their explanation, as far as I can tell, repairs that part of history. Well, mostly repairs it. Their testimonies basically ensure that Adelaide is still remembered as saving the Earth. Now, yeah, the episode, it was still dark, because, just about everyone else on the Bowie base, except for Roman, was fairly likable. Roman's alright, a bit annoying, but alright. And each of them died such horrific deaths. Well, they didn't really die, but well, to me, something far worse than death is they themselves died, but their bodies lived as a host for the flood. Or this thing became those water zombies. Ugh. I mean, it was, yeah, overall a good way to lead up to the end of time, and a much better sort of penultimate episode than Boomtown, which, as good as it was, again, not much special about it. So that's about it for what I have to say for Waters Mars. Now for a bit of speculation about the end of time and about Series 5, or as the BBC is allegedly going to be calling it, Series 1. Which honestly does not make a lot of sense to me, but I'm not the one in charge. Now, again, don't take my word on any of this. This is just me speculating. Well, based on anything that hasn't been... based on stuff they've left blank. I mean, let's see. First of all, my guess as to what's going to cause the Doctor to regenerate at the end of time. Basically, see, in the classic series, the TARDIS, well, then every other TARDIS in existence was powered by the Eye of Harmony on Gallifrey. But in the new series, following the destruction of Gallifrey, and with it, the Eye of Harmony, the TARDIS was drawing power from mainly the Rift in Cardiff. Now, if Gallifrey is returning, as we are led to believe, then, most likely, with it, the Eye of Harmony will return. But because the TARDIS is already basically fully charged with energy from the Rift, the feed from the Eye of Harmony is going to cause it to overload and most likely destroy basically destroy the console room in an effort to expel the excess power. And that blast will basically gravely wound the 10th Doctor. And this is what will cause him to regenerate. And which is also why, as we saw in some leaked photos of in the first episode of Series 5, the TARDIS is basically on its side in Leadworth, with its doors opened outwards. Note that they're not supposed to do that, and smoke's coming out of it. Now, and from what I've heard, it sounds like the Doctor basically is climbing out of this and basically trying to save it, because he thinks basically the TARDIS is kaput, dead, and worse than as it was in Rise of the Cybermen and the Age of Steel. Like, but again, and it basically, while the Doctor is fighting whatever threat it is in Leadworth with Amy, it's like the TARDIS is undergoing a bit of a regeneration of its own. Which is, my guess is what, at least, that's what results in the new console room, which we've seen basically a matte painting of inside the new TARDIS prop. In an episode which allegedly features the return of the Silurians. So, and that's about it. Doctor. And expect another video whenever. This is Zirconium signing off.